What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and guess what, guys? Today we have Big Papa Drog, the one and only, on the channel, and we're gonna talk about value search. We have a brand new dungeon which has been in the game now for a couple of months almost, right? Time is just flying. We've got tons of different champions, an insane new gear set that absolutely changes the dynamics of Raid Shadow Legends. But first, what's up, Big Papa Drog? How you doing, bro?
Yo, Skratch, my man. I'm doing great, dude. It's good to be here, bro.
Absolutely. And guys, by the way, we've actually recorded a different video on his channel. Make sure you guys head over and check that out because we're dropping in some real juice on that video. And as I mentioned, today, guys, we're gonna talk about value search, and this will mainly focus more on arena, to be honest, because these champions, they were vault keepers for a very long time, and now with the addition of the Pinpoint set, which is just so freaking powerful overall as a set, I feel like a lot of things are changing, right? What do you think about the new addition of the new set, of course, and all the Asgard Divide stuff, you know?
It's interesting, man. I'm so torn, right, Skratch, because I have a love-hate relationship with this.
Mm.
I love that we're starting to address polymorph, which is my personal least favorite thing in the entire game because of how it changed arena. It is the thing I hate the most. I think we all know that. I am an avowed sheep hater, more than anyone else, I think, that plays this game. So in that respect, I love it. But the thing that really is tough about this set is it's really hard to get good pieces. You and I were just talking about this before we started recording. Like, hey, have you gotten good pieces? Have you thrown a lot of energy in this dungeon? And we're both like, nah, no, we've been getting owned in terms of getting good pieces. So it's just been really tough in terms of this is the solution of polymorph. I still think I would have rather have seen other options. But the nice thing about Pinpoint is it's usable everywhere in the game where you need more speed. So it's not like it's only arena that you can benefit from it. And it definitely, to your point, it has unvaulted some champions that have been sitting in that vault for a long time. And that I am really, really happy about. So
100%.
overall, good. Yeah.
So I'm gonna let you start with the very first champion, bro, because you're the guest here. Who would you put on the list as a value search, right? Considering that we have the new Pinpoint set, polymorph is still there kicking our ass, but now you do have a much better weapon to retaliate against it, you know?
Yes. Well, we're gonna start with Gnishak, a former, I think, what, fusion fragment summon. I can't remember.
He was a Christmas fusion, man. Christmas
fusion. The Rat King himself. So you might have this champion, and guess what? If you've got him and you got him in Pinpoint, he has value again. Take him out of the vault. He's a bomb champ, and now you don't have to worry about getting polymorph nearly as much when you're placing those bombs. And those bombs can do some nasty damage against Stone Skin. So his value has skyrocketed as a result of Pinpoint. He is definitely someone that is viable now in both Classic and Live Arena. And again, like attack-based bombers, you can do a ton of damage with him against the meta set Stone Skin. So I think Gnishak is one of the ones that's seen a major increase in value because of this set.
100%, yeah. And it's so important on him to gain that extra turn after he plays the bombs, right? To be able to detonate them with the other skills. So I do think that 100% he is so much better now with Pinpoint. You know, like I built mine on Pinpoint. Actually, I'm still glyphing him and I'm fixing the ascension on the gear. So it will take me a few days to sort him out and get him exactly to what I want him to be. But right now, I feel like he's gonna be just the GOAT, especially for Live Arena, considering that Pinpoint is really gonna up his value, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That extra turn is clutch. Yeah, major value surge.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm gonna go next with Son Wukong. So I feel like he was still very, very powerful, right? Don't get me wrong. A lot of these champions were still very powerful. But now, a lot of people are kind of like either building him for damage, right? Either they build him super fast in arena because, yes, you have Armans. If the opponent picks Armans, you do need to bring in another speed lead, another threat that is similar in a way or another, right? So a lot of people have very fast Wukong, but he gets polymorphed very often. If not polymorphed, he gets a slip from Sifi very often, right? He might get a stun or something else from a Lady Mikage. So the Pinpoint set now 100% is definitely increasing his value as a champion, as a debuffer, not necessarily as a damage dealer, right? Because we're not talking about damage for Son Wukong in here, but just in general, I feel like overall he's definitely going to be way more effective if you build him on Pinpoint as a fast champion, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Like he's definitely majorly improved with the ability to steal those buffs and also potentially place block buffs. So you're seeing a major improvement. Interestingly enough, I was just thinking, Skratch, you could hypothetically build him in Savage and
Yeah,
Pinpoint
you can.
for
Absolutely.
damage if you have like a hybrid build where you have enough accuracy to steal some of these buffs from the nukers who might be in polymorph. And the cool thing about him specifically with Pinpoint is he revives himself. So you don't care as much that he doesn't have stone skin, in Savage because he's going to
Yeah.
come back.
Like,
So I agree. Like his building him as like an accuracy thing, he definitely benefits more, but I think you might be able to get some benefits even in a Savage build with him specifically.
yeah, like mine right now is built kind of like a hybrid. I have 2 perception pieces, and I have, of course, the Savage. I
Yeah.
would instantly swap the perception gear if I would get good Pinpoint, and then change the
Yeah.
accessories as well. Even if it's just 4-piece Pinpoint, would be absolutely amazing, But unfortunately, I'm lacking the artifacts, not the accessories, the artifacts, So that's my problem.
Oh man, you and me both. I cannot get good artifacts. The drop rates are rough.
And
They are
when I
rough.
get something good, like back to back, if I roll 10, 15, 20 pieces, they
Yeah.
all go 1 on each roll, and makes me just want to be
Yes.
like, oh, no.
I have had that happen as well, and it's like you want to cry. You want to cry because how hard it is
Mm.
to get the good artifacts.
What we got next?
All right, I'm thinking we got to go to the demon spawn, and we
All
got to
right.
talk about our boy Prince Kymar.
Yeah.
Prince Kymar,
Solid
because
pick.
man, such like he was the arena meta for the longest time when it came to arena offense teams. The ability to strip buffs, put people to sleep, like pre-polymorph. This dude was one of my absolute favorite arena champions to use. And it's crazy how hard he got hit by polymorph. The dude just disappeared, except maybe in ultra high resist things, which then they disappeared as well
Yeah.
because of mythicals being able to ignore resistance. So the guy just like he got taken out of the arena meta entirely. Well, guess what? He's back, baby. Build this sucker in Pinpoint, have him go first, start stripping buffs, and not only strip buffs,
Sleep
put
them.
people to sleep. Like his A2 is still an incredible skill. And if you're not getting sheeped, now you can actually use it. And then you're resetting. So he's got a little bit of that Crixia built into, or that Yumiko to reset, but now you can still crowd control. So I think Prince Kymar, massive value surge. I want to build mine in Pinpoint if I could ever get the gear to actually do it.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like he's just gonna basically throw them their sleeping pill, and job done. I feel like he's definitely in the conversation for this. A good value search from the Pinpoint set towards
Yeah.
Prince Kymar. As you mentioned, I rarely see him in arena, man. Like every now and then, I see some random person trying to use him just on a regular build, not working.
No.
Regardless if it's resistance or something else. The speed aura is still very effective, so we should definitely start seeing more of this bad boy in there,
Yes. Thank God. Bring him back.
So
What do you got?
I'm gonna go next with Ukko, Mighty Ukko, right? So I feel like people like to use Ukko usually, right? I feel like I'm just going back to the skinwalkers. Maybe we shouldn't leave from this faction because this is the third one right here. Stun and Pinpoint, you can do that now, right? So I feel like a lot of people stopped using Ukko mainly because of polymorph being so in trend, bolster being so in trend, But I feel like Ukko can definitely still be very annoying. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to return to its former glory. I'm not saying that it's going to be the most OP champion that you can build on Pinpoint. But I feel like now a lot of people can definitely start looking at the Mighty Ukko again, especially if they don't have all of the crazy champions. I feel like the remove of buffs, right? The block buffs, the decreased accuracy, the passive, and everything else can definitely come in play much, much better now on either on full Pinpoint, to be honest. Even that can work without the stun set, just to be annoying with a passive, put in a lot of RNG, remove the buffs, the block buffs. I feel like Ukko can definitely be a solid candidate for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you're completely right. Whether you build Ukko in a one-turn stun, you know, one intercept pinpoint buff, or whether you build him full pinpoint, he's viable both ways. Like,
Mm.
yeah, he's definitely not going to be what he once was, where he just was the meta for a time, but at least you can use the dude. Like, I really thought when they quote unquote nerfed polymorph, it wasn't a nerf, it was a buff, but when they said they were going to nerf polymorph a couple months or 6 months back, I really thought Ukko was going to make a roaring return where it's like he's back.
Yeah.
He's back and he's going to dominate. But then I realized that it wasn't a nerf, it was a buff, and he just stayed in the vault. Well, now you can bring him out, and he's used. And again, he's a champion that you hypothetically, if you played Raid for a while, you might have laying around. Guess what? Bring him out. He's usable.
100%. Yeah.
So, all right, I got one now, and this is an interesting one because this champion just got a buff.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to test him yet, and I really want to. And it's Gurgoh.
Yeah,
it's Gurgoh.
Very nice buff, actually.
Gurgoh. Yeah, so you I think you just did a video on it, and I haven't had a chance to watch yet. But man, what an improvement to this champion's kit, and what a big deal to get pinpoint on him, because now you can remove all buffs. Yes, you're stripping buffs and you're freezing. So again, similar to Kymar, you are crowd controlling here in terms of stripping and also freezing, which is really big.
Void, which is even better, you know?
Yeah, that's right. You're void. Very good point. You're void. And that is huge. That's huge. So Gurgoh, obviously you can do great damage with him. He also places decreased defense and has an AoE now, which is a huge difference. And
good
it's
multipliers. 4.0 as well. So if you freeze them,
4.0?
yeah, if you freeze them, double hit. So he's basically a 8.0.
Yeah. Okay, so he's got a nasty kid now. I definitely gonna have to test this guy, so that's awesome. But also make sure you watch Skratch's video since he did just test them. But what an improvement! He's granting extra turns, and that pinpoint means you're not getting sheep.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You're not getting sheep. You have real opportunities to use the dude. I got a question for you, Skratch. When it comes to building him, can you get away with not using Savage if you get that?
Oh
extra
yeah,
turn,
I was literally just going to slide that right here. I used him on a because I had to build him on the test server, right? I did a video the other day, and of course all the test server build is old now, so I don't have all of my pinpoint. So I only used him with 4-piece pinpoint, and I used him with 4-piece perception.
Interesting. Okay.
So no Savage, and my God, okay, he was smacking. And what is really good about him is that, you know how polymorph changed in a way where if you trigger it once for one of the effects, let's just say we're triggering it for remove buffs, you're not going to trigger it for freeze as well on the same champions unless they take a turn, right? So let's just say your pinpoint goes, you put the freeze, you remove the buffs, but then you gain that extra turn, which will instantly allow you to deal damage and put the defense down, right? Without triggering that polymorph again. So
that's a good point. Oh my God, you're so right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that because it's their same turn.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this champion is nuts. Oh, I can't now. My God, Skratch, you just hype. Now I'm so excited to build this dude. Oh my Lord, bring him out the vault. Pinpoint saving us again.
Yep, and the passive too, which basically now it deals additional damage versus targets under freeze. So all that damage mitigation that comes from freeze is gone now. And what's even more funny, whenever they touch him, that chance to freeze, it feels like it lands all the time. I loved it. When I've tested him, they were just constantly freezing after they were attacking him. All of the support champions was funny. And the speed
Skratch, I'm building him. Man. I'm literally gonna build him after this video. You got me jazzed, bro.
I'm gonna make mine +4. Thankfully, they come in handy now, yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, that's sick. You're so right. Okay. So now he might become one of my favorite champions. But for who we have next, this is one of my favorite champions.
You know what? I'm going to let you talk about the next one. I'll talk about the other one. So you go for the next one.
Did I go Gurgoh on this? That's right.
Yeah. So you go on the next one. You go on the next one.
I got so excited here. I'm like, I want to share this champion because she is one of my all-time favorite champions, and she has been vaulted so hard. And I have talked about her ad nauseum being completely useless in Arena. And it's Lady Kimi.
Yeah,
it's Lady Kimi, man. She's back, guys. She's back. Like, look, You haven't seen her probably yet in live arena or maybe even in classic arena because everyone's still trying to get good pinpoint gear and it's really tough.
And
But
you're
man, oh man,
limited with how many champs you can build on that set now because it's
yes, you're super
so hard to
limited.
get.
Super limited because the artifacts are so tough. But
Mm.
once you get the gear, she is so freaking back, Skratch.
Yeah.
You're putting up block buffs, you're stripping buffs, you're increasing speed, you're increasing turn meter, you're increasing accuracy. I think she is going to come roaring back into the meta once people are able to gear her correctly and gear
Yep.
her fast enough to make it worthwhile. And I'll tell you right now, one of my all-time favorite arena teams was that Kymar Lady Kimi stack, and I cannot wait to
use
start
it.
stacking. I've waited for forever. I'm ready, baby. Bring her back. It's time to come home to daddy.
100%. I think she's definitely going to slide back in once people will be able to build so many champions on Pinpoint and Shuzan as well, actually, because we haven't really thought about it. So this is like a quick bonus mentioning here.
Yeah.
But she can get polymorphed a lot with this freaking decreased speed, man, and the block active skill. So even Shuzan will be very powerful on Pinpoint because she does require accuracy as well, you know. So I definitely think that
Yeah.
she's going to be very, very nasty. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Shuzan for sure. Just insane how much this is going to help them.
Yeah. So I'm going to go next. Let's bring in an epic champion. And I'm going to go with Madame Series. Man, do you remember those days when she used to be like the GOAT? Huh?
Oh, dude.
Like,
she was,
everybody wanted Madame Series. Like, forget about legendaries and all the rest. Everybody wanted Madame Series because removes buffs, decrease attack, defense down. And guess what? Now, pretty much the same thing like with Gurgoh or other champions. You're not triggering polymorph per effect, right? So put her in Pinpoint. If the first effect did not got you polymorph, you're safe. And you have all of these things dropping in at the same time through. You're not going to be able to use her as we were using her in the past versus all of these crazy mythical teams and stuff like that. But she's still definitely going to be effective for a lot of other people that were getting pissed off by polymorph, even if it's just a four-piece Pinpoint, you know?
Yeah, no, I mean she's definitely usable now, and I think people have forgotten because of how like drastically overpowered polymorph is. People have forgotten. Like we used to put decreased defense buffs on people on champions to do more damage. Like we used to actually debuff champions, and we weren't able to do it for the longest time. And now these champions have a light to actually do what their kit was designed to do. Like it's a crazy thing. Like she actually can do her freaking job.
Yeah.
Finally. You know what I mean? And people get annihilated with decreased defense up. It makes a big difference in damage and what you're putting out. So I'm so glad that she benefits from this, that you could bring her in. I mean, hell, I kind of want to bring her into a high level live arena match and see if I can get away with her being really fast with Pinpoint, right?
Interesting, yeah.
You know? So I love her. I think she's definitely back.
Sweet. What you got next?
Let's go over to Lizardman and let's talk about one of the former hardest champions and still one of the hardest champions to get in the game, Ramantu.
Yeah.
Ramantu, right? Like, again, another champion that free, you can get him. It takes a long time and it's not easy, especially if you're not a spender. But there was a time where his kit was the dominating thing in arena. Like he was the meta in classic arena and he just disappeared. He disappeared because you couldn't use him because of how many debuffs he put out, especially on that A2. This dude was literally guaranteed to get polymorph off of his kit. Like he just wasn't usable. And now he is. Now he is so back. And it's not even just Pinpoint, which has helped him. It's also champions like Legat Tiox, who ignores all polymorph in general. And I'm so happy because it's like, look, these champions sometimes are so hard to get. You want them to be able to use their skills, right?
Yeah,
he's got
100%.
An incredible
You don't want to
kit.
keep them in the vault, right?
No, his kid is nuts. So yes, Ramantu Drake's Blood, he's back. Get him in Pinpoint. Get him in as much Pinpoint as you can possibly manage because his kit is still as good as it once was.
100%. I feel like he's definitely rolling it now, you know. And talking about the next champion, though, I know we talked a bit about Gnishak. We talked about Lady Kimi. Who else could you pair better with Komidus than Lady Kimi, right?
Yeah.
Such a good combo. And initially, when Komidus was released, guys, we did not have Pinpoint, we did not have Feral. So as a bomb champion, while he was pretty interesting, Polymorph was his #1 enemy, and I feel like he got a massive value surge. That's why you're seeing so many of them being constantly used in live arena, is because of Pinpoint. Pretty much everybody has them built in Pinpoint, you know, and I feel like it's just game changing for all of these champions. And he's just such a massive threat right now in arena. I freaking hate him.
Do you not have him?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, he's really freaking good. Like you gotta be able to win the speed race with him, right? That's the big thing. Or maybe not win the speed race, but at least keep him alive. But man, if you do, and if they didn't pick Marichka, good luck.
Yeah.
You know, you're cooked. You're cooked. I have him and I freaking love the dude. He has definitely seen a value increase because of Pinpoint.
100%. Yeah, very, very nasty.
All right, we got one more. Bring it, baby. And this is no surprise. This is a champion who has, in my opinion, one of the absolute most insane kits in the entire game. It's Gizmak, guys.
Yep.
This champion, when he came out, people were so stoked because of what his kit does. Both of his forms are nuts, putting up HP burns, switching in, doing massive damage, annihilating people's stone skin. But here was the problem. He was guaranteed
to be
at high
polymorph
level to become a sheep. You could not use him. He literally was unusable, which just goes to show how ridiculously overpowered polymorph is when a champion who's this good cannot be used. Well, now he can because of Pinpoint. Now, what I'll say is this: it's still a risk, right? Like Pinpoint doesn't guarantee that multiple people don't trigger polymorph against you. So he's still susceptible because of how many debuffs he guarantees to put out. But one of the cool things about Gizmak is you could build him in 6-piece Pinpoint and still do decent damage on that second form because of the decreased defense, which is really big. So he benefits probably more than any other champion, frankly, because of Pinpoint. Like he is actually usable now, whereas he was completely pointless beforehand.
Yeah, he's just very, very freaking strong versus all the enemies. A lot of people are building him in 9-piece Pinpoint. I would 100% do it as well. Of course, you do need to make him faster and stuff to ensure that he's not going to get racked by the enemy nuker. But the damage, the ignore defense that he brings in already, and the extra damage versus targets that have the HP burn and stuff, and ignore the block damage and all the crazy freaking things that he's doing, ignore the shield, you know, it is just way too powerful. And a Pinpoint set is more than enough to wipe your entire team. You don't need the savage, basically.
Yeah, and think about it too. Like you're faster than someone. Like if you're thinking classic arena defenses, I've seen him in that 9-piece Pinpoint in classic arena defense, where maybe you have people built in Stone Skin, but he's built in Incinerate and Pinpoint. Guess what? You take a turn first. Your Stone Skin is gone. Like it is over with. It's out of. It's completely deleted, and that's good for the game. Like let champions do what they're supposed to freaking do. Like this is what we wanted. This is what made arena great. In Raid, we're getting back there. I don't know about you though, Skratch. I still wish they would balance polymorph more.
Yeah, they have
to.
Have to. They need to make it where only one champion can trigger it in the team or something, because it would be more diversity in blessings. Then a lot of people will use other blessings like a Word of the Fallen or the blessing that decreases your enemy max HP and stuff. You know, I feel like it would be healthier for the game, but they need to milk it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what direction are you going? Yeah, I know where you're going here. Like that's the thing. Like I still think, all of this aside, even with Pinpoint coming to the game, which is opening things back up, thank God. You know, I still think we have to further address polymorph. It is still too strong. And the other thing people have to keep in mind too with Pinpoint set is, once that intercept stack is gone, it's gone.
It's gone.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're not getting it back. You get one shot to make something happen, and maybe that's not enough to get the job done, or maybe your champion stays alive, and guess what, then they're a sheep anyway. So it's not a perfect solution. It is an improvement. Plarium, if you see this video, I beg you from the bottom of my heart, please God, make polymorph one turn. Don't make it take away half the health and let only one champion do it. I'm just saying, that's just what I'm saying, Skratch. Please God, that
would be another thing as well. To even if they don't nerf it on how many champions can trigger it, just its effects are way too freaking strong, you know.
Yeah. Strip every buff, cut your health in half, slow your speed to 150. I mean,
Mm.
it's no wonder why people that play Arena hate it so much. So
I
yeah,
agree
at
with
least
that.
we're getting some improvement though. At least
Yeah.
we're getting some
So
improvement.
I have another quick one for you. It's kind of like
Yeah.
a quick fire. Uh, Hegemon coming in the meta. What do you think about that?
So this is really interesting. Like he was dead for rights because of Stone Skin, and I think he still struggles against certain teams, right? Like if you don't know the build of what someone is doing,
Yep.
it's still going to be tricky. But the one upside to people building more champions out of Stone Skin and into Pinpoint is that someone like Hegemon could hypothetically nuke an entire team now.
Mm.
So there is viability there that wasn't there before. I still think he needs a little extra oomph because of how many people still build in Stone Skin,
Yeah.
which is such a killer to what he does. But if you have a decent idea of how your opponent's champions are built,
Yeah.
and if you know they're not built in Stone Skin, yeah, like he's slowly making his way back in. But I want to emphasize slowly, Skratch. Like he's
Yeah, of
still
course,
really situational.
and it won't be like you're gonna see him everywhere. You know, he's just
No,
like for the last few months, nobody's using Hegemon, right?
yeah,
Except me and a couple other people randomly just chucking him in the team right there, you know, to scare a bit the opponent. But now he's actually a viable chance, a viable chance. He's in the conversation, sorry, for him stepping up a little bit versus the Pinpoint.
yes. Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Absolutely. So it's nice to see him come back. I know one of the things I enjoyed before I was even a content creator was watching you try to pull Hegemon for
It was
years.
lovely, wasn't it? Yeah.
For years, like begging for Hegemon,
Yeah.
which was always fun for me
Story
to
of
watch.
my
And I
life.
guess. Oh man, dude.
Awesome. Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks for joining me on to talk about these guys. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. What other champions would you put on the list? And don't forget, head over to Big Papa's Drox channel, drop him a like, drop him a subscribe, and check out the video that we are actually probably releasing more or less at the same time, maybe early, maybe later.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see when I get the thumbnail done.
Exactly.
So check in.
keep an eye on it. And yeah, as usual, it was great to have you on the channel, brother.
Dude, thank you so much for having me on, man. Such a pleasure to collab with you, and so cool to talk about something like that. What a great idea, by the way, of something that is truly game altering. So glad to get to be the one to talk about it with you, Skratch. And thank you again.
Thank you. And as usual, guys, appreciate all of you guys watching. Much love. And don't forget, if you enjoy the content, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and help with that freaking YouTube algorithm. Much love, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.